Good evening. This is Ted Nugent with Eagle News. Our top story this hour, the ITER facility has come under fire once again. Several activist groups have expressed concerns that this prototype fusion reactor includes technologies which could be used for nuclear proliferation. The ITER facility, currently under construction in southern France, is expected to become the first full-scale example of a working, sustained nuclear fusion reactor. The facility, expected to be completed in 2019, uses magnetic fields to heat deuterium and tritium, two hydrogen isotopes, to over 150 million degrees. At these intense sun-like temperatures, the two gases combine together to create new materials. In this process, intense heat is released. Scientists hope that, once started, this heat can be used to generate enough electricity to power the magnetic fields. Recently, however, several activist groups have complained that the ITER project poses several risks of nuclear proliferation and may even be a danger to our society. For more on this story, we turn to our reporter, Dan Telzit, on the ground in the heart of the activist zone.
Thanks, Ted. We're here in Activist Center today. As you can see, there doesn't seem to be a strong activist presence here. But wait, here comes someone now. Excuse me, sir, can we speak to you for a minute? What's your name?
Joe.
So, Joe, what brings you here today? Are you part of the activist group?
Activist? No. I just came here to see what all the commotion's about.
Commotion? You mean the accusations being leveled against ITER?
Yeah, I guess. It seems like a big risk to be taken.
Risk? Do you mean the potential for thermonuclear?
Thermonuclear? I'll tell you about some thermonuclear stuff. See, you got all this tritium flying around at 100 million degrees, smashing into this stuff. If that goes wrong, you got a big boom! But what if somebody takes some, just a little bit off every time, you know? That could be made into bombs. Big booms, big mushroom clouds. Ain't dealing with that shit right now.
Well said, there you have it. As you can see, these activists are clearly passionate about their cause. Their main concern appears to be the presence of radioactive tritium gas in the facility.
And Dan, what is the significance of that?
Well, Ted, as you heard, the activists worried that the tritium could be hidden and diverted for use in nuclear weapons.
And how likely do you think that is? Are we looking at another Iran?
Well, as you know, France isn't Iran, but these groups certainly seem to think there's cause for concern. It's gotten quiet around here for now, but that's probably not going to last. We'll stay on the ground here to bring you the latest. For now, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. For more on this developing story, we turn to our alternative energy expert, Dr. Wynne DeBlow. Dr. DeBlow, thank you for joining us today.
It's DeBlow, if you please.
Right. Well, Doctor, so really, you saw the same clip I did. What are these activists really concerned about?
It's actually not very much, really. See, the ITER projects does not present any challenges that are not currently addressed by this current safeguards infrastructure. Only the material involved is different.
So what exactly is the current nuclear safeguards infrastructure?
The IAEA regulates all international nuclear facilities and requires them to track all their materials and secure all the materials that can be used to create a nuclear bomb. That could be uranium, plutonium, or in this case, tritium. However, technically speaking, this tritium is extremely hard to deal with, especially in the states that it is in this reactor, because it's at about 150 million degrees and extremely confined by these extremely strong magnetic fields.
Well, what if someone had an extremely large magnetic field?
No, see, that's not how it works. These magnetic fields are constructed out of extremely bulky, extremely heavy pieces of machinery that are very expensive. You need billions of dollars to invest in that kind of material, in that kind of technology, and it takes years to build that stuff.
But if these countries do have access to this technology?
Honestly, if France or the US wanted to build more nuclear bombs, they could invest in much cheaper solutions than stealing a tiny bit of this tritium away, of which there's only about half a gram in this reactor. So there's not much, you know. But for the purposes of this question, I'll grant that. It is extremely hard to divert material from an IAEA facility because the entire facility is guarded and all of the material is tracked over time. So, if somebody were to want to divert that, they'd have to get past these safeguards, and so far we have not seen any of that happen in history. That has not been done completely in secret.
So you don't think there's any cause for alarm?
Absolutely not.
Well, clearly these activist groups disagree. Thank you, Dr.
That's good.
DeBlau. That's all we have time for today. Thank you for your expert perspective. Clearly, the Eider story is continuing to develop. We'll monitor all the developments and continue to bring them right to you, live right here. Up next, the search for the missing Shibu Inu continues on to day 44 in our North Austin suburb.